What's up guys, my name is Kevin Neglia. I'm the owner and founder of Locomotion New York. Today we're going to talk about the Gymnastics Rings. This is a tool that we use in our studio very often, and in fact I think it's probably one of the best tools for developing upper body strength. You can look at some of the strongest upper bodies in the world to prove my point. Gymnasts can do absolutely incredible things on the rings, and the strength they develop is out of this world. Now, of course, we're not training to go to the Olympics, and the dedication and time that it takes for these individuals to get to the level they are is astounding. They train their whole lives. However, even you can start on the rings just once or twice a week to develop strength in the connective tissue of the upper body. So not just muscles, but ligaments, tendons. You're really going to strengthen everything as a whole. Now this takes time, and we're not looking to get anybody to do an iron cross anytime soon, but some basic skills like supports, chin-ups, push-ups, even muscle-ups. And there's even some more advanced stuff that you can do like levers and ring routines. Even just for hanging, one arm, two arm, one ring, there's so many options that you can explore. Some of the benefits of working with the rings specifically is that they're two independent objects that rotate. So they're not fixed like a pull-up bar. This allows for more freedom of movement and allows for some rotation to happen when you're doing things like muscle-ups and chin-ups, and doing something like a muscle-up allows you to transition above the rings a bit easier, as long as the proper mobility is present. And thankfully, that's another thing the rings can do. They can really develop your shoulder mobility. They can develop strength in the biceps tendon to protect the elbows. And they can strengthen the muscles of the forearm, like in a false grip. And each of these weak links along the chain can be strengthened individually and when put together, making for a more holistic development of the upper body. Of course, there are progressions for every level. We can start with something simple like a push-up support. We can progress to a dip support. And you can even go as crazy as a handstand support. You will feel the first time you're on the rings the superior demands on stabilization they require. And that brings us to another benefit, the stabilization. Because they are independent, the first time you hop on rings, you are going to feel it right away. They're going to be shaky, you're going to feel like you don't have control, but just in a few weeks, you start to stabilize and develop some of the skill and the motor control to keep those rings still. Another thing that we pride ourselves here on is that you can always take your practice with you. You're training, you're moving, it doesn't just happen in one place. And while we love having this studio, we want to make sure that you can always practice wherever you are. The rings are portable enough to fit in your backpack, so you can bring them to the park and hang them up on a tree, or you can grab a friend and you'd be shocked at how much you could do with one or two rings, one or two straps, and a good buddy. One of my favorite parts about the rings is that they're simple. It's a circle hanging from a strap. And so what we've seen over the years is people get really creative with what they do with that. And one of the more interesting things I do want to share about the rings is something that every parent knows. What do your kids do when they see those rings? Boom, they beeline for the rings and they're flipping upside down before you can say anything. And this just goes to show us something. They're an extremely accessible tool that you can be extremely playful on, and at the same time get this amazing development of your body and your awareness in space. You can invert, you can flip back, you can hang in all these different positions. And I always think it's interesting, and I think we should pay attention to what kids do. So when we're introducing people to the rings, we like to take a pretty structured, strength-oriented approach. We take them through progressive overload, we help them understand the positions, and we build their tolerance over time. Because these soft tissues do take time to adapt, and we don't want to rush anything. From there, you have the path to your first muscle-up and beyond. Or you can use them as a maintenance tool and just keep your upper body feeling strong and healthy. But the worst thing to do is to simply not use them at all. I'm also going to post some links and videos in the description below. I'd love for you guys to check out some of the things that people have done on the rings, some old stuff you might have never seen, and some creative stuff that people that I know personally are doing. So if your upper body strength routine is in need of a major upgrade, I highly recommend the rings. Come in and train with us, ask questions below in the comments, send us an email. We'd be happy to help.